Particularly late last year, there was a lot of discussion about whether AI was in a bubble, and it sure felt like it. I think some of the earnings of NVIDIA this quarter and Google have given something of a lie to that. Today, it's really hard to show that we're in a bubble, but a bubble will occur. If not now, a bubble will occur later. It always happens when a pivotal new technology comes online. You really have to ask your question, though, are you talking about the death of AI? Absolutely not. AI is here to stay. It will go through cycles like everything else. And I'll point you to an example that I think is really telling. This country has been through massive technological revolutions in the past. We basically had two great movements toward railroads in this country. The last one of which, after the Civil War, ran for a good 10, 12 years and ended in the panic of 1873. A panic is what they used to call depressions. That kind of ended the railroad bubble at the time. 1873. Did railroads go away? The best days of railroads were still ahead of it from 1873 into 1950, most of the 20th century, still today. When the U.S. electrified the country in the 1920s, that ended with the Great Depression in 1929. Is electricity less important today than it was in 1920? Obviously not. This is a pivotal technology. It will go through cycles. Some people are going to win, some people are going to lose. Some investors are going to make money, a lot of investors are going to lose money. So there will be a bubble if we're not in a bubble today. But AI is such a crucial technology to solving all of mankind's problems. It's not going away. And you just have to kind of strap on, hold tight, plan for your future. And when we pass on, we're going to leave AI behind us to the next generation.
What about the construction side of things? Based on what you're seeing, you guys have your hands, you kind of have your hands on the pulse of what's happening.
We do.
Is there enough money coming in to do the construction projects that you're seeing? Is there the commitments, are they there?
The commitments are phenomenal. The money is there. The money is looking for place. Because of the initiatives of the Biden administration, the Trump administration, you're seeing the beginning of that on the manufacturing side. But the money has been there on the data center side, for a couple of years now. $200 billion is a lot of money to spend in 1 year. CBRE, which is a big national real estate consultancy, expects that to build out all the data centers that are necessary, you're going to need about $3 trillion. That's probably about a sixth of the size of the gross domestic product of the United States. It's a huge amount of money. Think of it this way. We have, with $200 billion in 2025, if the total need for the data center build out in the next 10 years is $3 trillion, we've made a down payment of about 7% on the total number of data center investment that we're going to need long term. It's a huge number, and there's a great deal of money to be made. That money is going to be there. It's there. You can see it forming now.
What about the risks? Because there is some pushback on these data centers.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you seeing that in the community? Is it going to impact the build out?
Yeah, there are concerns. First of all, people have concerns about how these AI systems are going to affect their lives and their jobs. That's a different issue, right? Here we're talking about the impact on jobs. The real danger to the AI revolution in this country is the classic American disease, hyperlitigation. This is a country in which at any time, any place, any lawyer can make big money by filing any lawsuit to stop a project. What happens when a lawyer does that is that it just stalls the project at best. It goes before a court after the sponsor of the investment has spent a lot of many $1 million planning, got its permit, got its power contract, everything's in order, the lawsuit comes, everything stops. So at best, until that gets resolved, what should take you 3 years, 2 years, to plan and get up and running now takes you 5 or 6. In the worst case scenario, that project's dead because the financing that you're talking about will dry up if it gets tied down, if these projects get tied down in court. You see it all the time. The public has some very legitimate concerns. public does not want to see these power-hungry data centers and manufacturing plants force its own power costs up. These sponsors should be bearing those costs. But it is also important that those jobs get made, for people who really don't have the opportunities that they need today. So what I'm worried about is these different states bogging the whole process down. And again, California is kind of a poster child, unfortunately. Under our environmental laws, anybody, a competitor down the street, a neighbor, anybody who wants to extort a little bit, some favors out of a developer, they can bring a lawsuit on just about any development project and stop it. Who gets hurt? It's everybody who would have worked there.
What about other states? How much lawsuits matter in like Ohio?
Fortunately, Ohio doesn't have a law like CEQA that allows that, just about anybody in the public to, bring that lawsuit. Most states have reasonable environmental controls that are modeled after the federal law in this area called NEPA. They keep the control over the environmental decisions in the cities, or in the counties. That makes a lot more sense as opposed to putting it in the hands of individuals just to kind of bring a lawsuit. So it's not as bad as in other states, but you're starting to see a lot of resistance, kind of classic NIMBYism that concerns me. Part of it, frankly, is just that sort of, Bernie Sanders, Senator Bernie Sanders, who's an avowed socialist, said it's time to declare a moratorium on data center construction in this country. It's a bad idea. What Bernie's not counting are all the jobs that are not going to stay in the United States, that are going to go elsewhere. Let me make one point. As this resistance, to the next generation of industrial is forming across the country, data centers are going to go somewhere. Saudi Arabia wants to build data centers. South Korea wants to build data centers, and they will. Jobs that will go to those countries are not going to be, built and made here in the United States. When data travels at the speed of light, and it takes less than a tenth of a second, or about a tenth of a second, for a signal to go around the world, other countries are going to get these jobs. And I think Americans need to understand that this is a moment to decide whether we want those jobs or whether we want those jobs to go to Saudi Arabia, South Korea, and of course China. China's investing heavily in this space.
Michael, a lot of people say that this manufacturing boom is not going to happen. It's a dream. You are seeing projects that are getting built. Can you tell us about those?
It is going to happen. I think one of the reasons you hear people say that it is a mirage is that there will be a lot of automation in these manufacturing facilities. The truth is that's a good thing. The National Association of Manufacturers has projected that we will need 3.8 million manufacturing jobs through 2033. Part of that is going to be because of this new demand. We can talk a little bit about which companies are investing in new manufacturing. But a lot of that is going to be because about almost 2 million of that number is a result of people retiring. So where critics say we're not going to see a jobs boom in manufacturing, the fact is we don't have enough people to fill out the jobs that we're going to need simply because of the number of retirees that are going to hit us. Probably about 1 million of those jobs they'll result from new manufacturing facilities that are going to be built between now and then. But 2 million of them are just going to be retirees. So we've got a lot of people to put in jobs, and the opportunities are going to be there.